As the fishermen strained against the weight of their mysterious catch, they had no idea that the massive creature they were dragging back to port was unlike anything they had ever seen, and their astonishment was about to take a chilling turn. Little did they know, the footage they unwittingly captured would send shock waves through the world. Rick pulled with all his strength, together with his colleagues. They were pulling out what seemed like the biggest catch of their careers, so none of the pain or discomfort mattered to them. They had their eyes on the prize, and boy was it a big one. At one point, Rick realized they were never going to be able to get this thing on board. They had to think of something else. The fishermen decided it was best to pull the creature to shore behind the boat. It was slowly losing strength from all the resisting, so now was the perfect time. Rick quickly gave the orders to his men, and soon after, they were on their way back to land with the giant creature behind them. Rick knew how significant this catch could be, so he made sure to tell all his men not to say a word about it until they knew what exactly they had caught. And Rick couldn't believe what he was seeing. As soon as they arrived at the shoreline, the whole dock was covered with journalists and people wanting to see the mysterious creature. Anger and disappointment filled Rick's body as he angrily looked his men in the eyes. "I can't believe my own men would betray my trust like this," he said aside. "How on earth do they know about our catch?" One of his men stepped forward with his phone in his hand. "Sir, I think you need to see this." Rick couldn't believe what he was seeing. There was footage of him and his men trying to pull the giant creature out of the water. The video was clearly taken from outside of his boat. Suddenly, the creature began to move again. It tried to swim in the opposite direction and did so with much strength. It actually made the boat move. Rick needed a new plan. Rick radioed for another boat to help him, and within minutes, they were trying to get the cables around the creature. They did all this behind the boat, hoping to shield the creature against even more exposure. The last thing they wanted was for more videos to go around the internet. Sadly, that part of their plan failed, and it failed miserably. Rick felt his heart racing. This was even worse than he had imagined. He knew everyone would panic as soon as they laid eyes on the creature. The creature floundered around wildly, trying to get away from the boats. It was in a state of panic, which was understandable when it was surrounded by two big boats and hundreds of people were staring at it. Slowly, the crane maneuvered the creature onto the other boat. Rick knew he couldn't leave the creature's side, he had to get on the other boat as well. Government agents, stern and yielding, quickly cordoned off the area, forming a barrier between the relentless media and the enigmatic creature. As they ushered the public away, a veil of secrecy enveloped the dock, intensifying the air of mystery and leaving the fishermen to wonder about the fate of their catch. Not Rick, now the focus of intense scrutiny, faced a barrage of questions from government officials. Their probing inquiries demanded every detail of the creature's capture, and a group of scientists, equipped with an array of tools and an aura of urgency, swiftly took charge of the situation. They erected a temporary laboratory around the creature, cloaking their activities in secrecy, while Rick and his crew could only watch, sidelined, their role diminished to mere bystanders. Feeling increasingly alienated, Rick and his crew watched as the authorities took over, their involvement reduced to mere afterthoughts. The once quiet fishing town transformed overnight, its streets now teeming with reporters and onlookers, their presence disrupting the tranquil rhythm of daily life. Just as the town's disruption intensified, the local community's patience wore thin. Their frustration directed squarely at Rick and his crew, accusations and anger bubbled to the surface, blaming them for the unking chaos that had enveloped their once peaceful town, transforming their triumph into a source of contention. As the creature remained shrouded in mystery, a tidal wave of speculation crashed over the public discourse, ranging from plausible scientific theories to outlandish conspiracy tales. This cacophony of guesses and suppositions spread like wildfire, turning the creature into a nexus of endless debate and wild imagination. The story of the mysterious creature, now shrouded in sensationalism and scientific intrigue, captured the imagination of a global audience. Environmental groups, alarmed by the creature's capture, voiced their concerns loudly, warning of the potential damage to the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem. Activists, galvanized by the environmental warnings, organized vocal and visible protests at the port. Despite the array of scientific equipment and expertise brought to bear, the creature remained an enigmatic puzzle, eluding every attempt at classification. Its mysterious nature only fueled public intrigue and scientific curiosity further, turning it into a symbol of the unknown depths of the ocean. Caught in the whirlwind of sudden fame and ethical quandaries, Rick found himself torn amidst the global frenzy. Rick felt an ever-increasing burden, the weight of secrets and unknowns pressing down on him. As the reluctant face of this phenomenon, he grappled with the responsibility of his newfound position, the gravity of the mystery overshadowing his every move. Motivated by a deepening sense of responsibility, Rick found himself increasingly involved with the scientific team. The creature's deteriorating health intensified the ethical debates surrounding its captivity. As news of the creature's plight spread, public sentiment began to shift noticeably. Sympathy for the creature grew, manifesting in widespread calls for its release. With the creature's condition deteriorating rapidly, a sense of urgency enveloped the scientific team and Rick. It became a race against time as they worked tirelessly to devise a solution to save the creature, each passing moment a reminder of the high stakes at play in this unprecedented situation. In a groundbreaking development, the creature was identified as a member of a species long thought extinct, a revelation that completely altered the course of the narrative. This discovery shifted the conversation from mere curiosity to one of significant scientific and ecological importance. The news of the creature's true identity sent shock waves around the world, stunning scientists and the public alike. And following the revelation, the world's perception of the creature shifted dramatically. It was no longer seen as just an intriguing anomaly but as a critical piece of the marine ecosystem puzzle, a living link to a past thought to be lost, deserving of awe and respect. With the creature's true nature revealed, Rick's newfound role as a conservation advocate marked a significant evolution from his initial position as a mere discoverer. Through the maelstrom of debate, Rick emerged as a vocal advocate for the creature's release, his voice once lost in the cacophony of speculation and excitement now ringing clear and strong in the global conversation, championing the cause of the creature's freedom and well-being. However, Rick's advocacy faced stiff opposition as corporate and certain governmental entities pushed for the creature's continued captivity. They argued for the immense research value and potential benefits it offered, creating a tense clash between the motives of conservation and commercial exploitation. In response to these competing interests, an unlikely alliance formed between Rick, his crew, a faction of the scientific community, and environmental activists. United by a common goal, they stood together to protect the creature from being exploited, advocating for its right to exist freely in its natural habitat. As the tide of opinion turned, preparations for the creature's potential release commenced. Entwined with ongoing legal and ethical discussions, teams of experts and conservationists worked meticulously, ensuring that every aspect of the release plan was carefully considered to safeguard the creature's well-being. Faced with mounting public pressure and the compelling evidence of the creature's rarity, a decisive verdict was reached: the creature would be released back into the ocean. The creature's release was transformed into a global event, broadcasted live to millions around the world. As the eyes of the world watched, the event symbolized a triumph of empathy and conservation, sending a powerful message about the importance of preserving our planet's biodiversity. As the creature was finally released, Rick and his crew experienced a profound and emotional farewell. Watching the creature disappear into the depths of the ocean, they reflected on their extraordinary journey, its challenges, and the unexpected impact they had made on the world and on each other.